Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. So we'll take a look at obviously what's going on in the markets. The markets pretty much shook off what the Fed said yesterday about being hawkish and everything else. So the markets were up today. Bitcoin and Ethereum were both up today. Miners were down today. So we'll take a look at what's going on there. And then we'll take a look at also Hut 8 provided some news about their merger, and Marathon just provided a news release. We'll talk about that. And then we'll look at also the future potential stock prices of the miners based on the last quarters, past 3 quarters as well, what that might mean going forward. We'll look at some numbers and we'll get into it all to see which one has possibly the most upside potential going forward. Okay, so that's all coming up. So as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And let's take a look at what's going on in the markets here. So the markets were, like I said, up today. They shook off whatever the Fed said yesterday. S&P was up 1.22%, Dow Jones was up 1.26%, NASDAQ was up 2.17%, Bitcoin was up quite nicely today, was up 1.78%, closed at 25,569. It is down a little bit right now, down 0.33% to 25,485. Looking at the RSI here on the daily chart, we can see that the RSI right now is at 40. Last time was right around here, 40 as well. Price at that point was higher, so we're still getting that trend heading downwards. Unfortunately, I still think we're going to be possibly going down to this 23,800 line. If that doesn't hold, then we're going down lower than that. Ethereum today was also up a little bit here, was up 0.87%. It closed at 1,665. It's down a little bit now as well, down 0.23 at 1,665 right now, or 1,661. And that one is also looking like it might be coming down along with Bitcoin in the near term, at least for the time being, until it reaches the 200 weekly moving line here, which is right around 1,451. So we'll see how that goes. Now, as far as the miners are concerned today, they didn't have a good day at all. Any was down today. Let's get rid of these daily lines because those throw our charts off. There we go. And Any was down 1.52% today. Argo was down as well, 6.9%. Bit Digital was down 4.89%. Bitfarms was down 2.54%. Cypher was down 4.23%. Also, I should have on here, which I don't, yep. We're going to start tracking BitDeer. Where did it go? Where did that one go? That's right here. Let's move that one up. Forgot to put this one up higher here. So BitDeer today, it was kind of a wild ride today. It was up almost like 50% or something like that on towards the, well, if you look at the 1 hour chart, that one was kind of way out there today. It was on the 1 hour chart, you can see here right around noon, it started to climb pretty high. Surprisingly, it went up that fast, but it was up like 50%, something like that, and then fell back down to where it was. So surprised what was happening there, but that one was actually up today, finished out the day at least, up 1.07% up on the day. So Bitfarms was down 2.54%, Cypher was down 4.23%, CleanSpark was down 0.26%, Cores was down 2.54%, DigiHost was down 4.11%, DMG was down 1.33%, Greenedge was down 1.25%, Hive was down 1.27%. Why is Ethereum over here now? Oh, what has happened here? No, that's just goofy. All right, let's move that back up here. DMG Greenedge was down 1.25%, Hive down 1.27%, Hut 8 was down 0.96%, Iris Energy was down 5.17%, Marathon was down 3.41%, Mawson was down 3.14%, Riot was down 1.77%, Soluna was down 1.56%, Stronghold was down 1.23%, and TerraWolf was down 5.04%. So not a great day for the miners, unfortunately, but Bitcoin did kind of rebound a little bit today towards the end of the day. We'll see how it goes going into Friday. I still think we're going down. Like I said, we're not done yet. I think this was just a little bit of a bounce with the markets going up in value as well, but we'll see. Okay. Now we're cash rich. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So that was yesterday. Today we are still at 388 million terahashes on this 7-day average. On the 1-day average, we've come back up here a little bit, well, quite a bit, to 385 million from the 312 million that we were yesterday. So definitely miners are getting plugged back in. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's take a look at the 2 stories that we do have here really quick. So Marathon Digital Holdings issues warning of fraudulent activity. The company has become aware of multiple fraudulent websites and apps claiming to be affiliated with Marathon Digital Holdings, as well as fraudulent communications by individuals purporting to be Marathon employees. The company has also been aware of fraudulent stock certificates written in foreign languages allegedly being sold by third parties in at least Russia, if not other foreign countries as well. So beware of scams out there, right? They're not going to be asking you to invest in them other than through the stocks exchanges that are legal. So do not get scammed by that, okay? And then next is Hut 8. Hut 8 provides an update on their business combination with USBTC. So Hut 8 continues to make progress on the proposed business combination pursuant to which Hut 8 and USBTC, US Data Mining Corp, Inc., doing business as Bitcoin Corp, will combine in an all-stock merger of equals. Here's the update. So New Hut has filed a further amendment to its Form S4 registration statement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission as disclosed in the amended registration statement. New Hut's expected installed self-mining capacity has increased from the previous disclosed 7.02 exahash to 7.5 exahash at mining facilities in Medicine Hat and Drumheller in Alberta, Niagara Falls, New York, Kearney, Nebraska, and Granbury and King Mountain in Texas upon the close of the transaction. That increase is actually from USBTC. So that is good there. We are making measurable progress on key files that will positively position UHUT to be very competitive in the market with 7.5 exahash of self-mining capacity, said Jamie Leverton, CEO of Hut 8. We continue to be laser focused on completing this merger in an expedient manner to form a stronger business backed by both Bitcoin and fiat revenues generated from our robust North American-wide operations. So they're working towards it. Possibly, maybe this gets done in Q3. If not, I'm guessing probably by the latest, probably Q4, unless there's some opposition to this, and then it just falls apart. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this. Okay, so that's it for that. So let's take a look at the potential revenue for the miners here, or forward looking a little bit more. And the way I did this was I took basically what we currently have as far as shares outstanding for each company, which is the first line, current stock price for today, market cap as well as current for today, and then we're looking at the estimated revenue for the last three quarters plus the current quarter. So that's the total number there for basically the 4 quarters that we're in. Current quarter estimated is what we're looking at for the quarter ending here in June. So that's the current quarter that we're in. So this is the estimated one. Prior 3 quarters was obviously Q1, Q4, and Q3 of 2022, going back that far. And then we're looking at the improvement here. So the way I did this was I took the current quarter estimated, multiplied by 3 to compare it to the prior 3 quarters. So basically, if the miners just generate what they are currently generating per quarter here, going forward into the next 2 quarters, I guess you could say, how is that going to compare to the prior 3 quarters? So we're kind of looking forward a little bit and backwards as well. So in Marathon's case, they are actually going to be improving by about 165 million over the prior 3 quarters as far as revenue is concerned. So you can the way you could do that is take the 92 million and add the 165. That's possibly where they could be, or basically multiply the 85 million times 3, and that's what you would get. 255 million, I believe, somewhere around there. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Cypher would be up 68.3 million. Riot would be up 65 million or 66.5 million. Iris would be up 62.2 million. TerraWolf would be 45.7. CleanSpark would be up 42.2. Bitfarm is up 13.5. Sphere would be up 11.8. Hive would be up 5.4. DigiHost up 4.3. Mawson up 4.1. DMG up 2.9. Argo just 859,000. BitDigital would be actually down if they maintained it, so they definitely have to grow going forward, whether it's their hash rate or, well, hash rate or if Bitcoin goes up in price. But right now, the last quarter that we're in is actually going to be less than the prior 3 quarters if you multiply by 3. And then Hut 8 is actually going to be down 11.6 million, right? They've had nothing but trouble here in the last couple of quarters with lawsuits with their, I think it was Medicine Hat facility. Don't quote me on that one, but I think it's the one that they're having the lawsuit with, the energy provider there. And they're also having issues with their, I believe it's the Drumheller facility that is having issues with electricity components as well. So that's definitely having a decrease in their revenues here for the current quarter that we're in, especially. So if you look at the current quarter for them, it's only 10.9. The prior 3 quarters was 44.5 million. So obviously, if you multiply the 10 times 3, you're only getting 30 million. So that's why they're down 11.64 million on it. Okay. Now, when we look as far as percentage gains on that, we can see that Marathon is up 179%, Cypher up 253%, Riot would be up 65%, Iris would be up 150%, TerraWolf 210%, CleanSpark up 43%, Bitfarms up 15%, Sphere would be up 295%, Hive would be up 8.75%, DigiHost would be up 3.29%, Mawson would be up 38.4%, DMG would be up 19%, Argo would be up 2%, and BitDigital would be actually down 3%, while Hut would be down 26%. Okay, so then what we're doing here, going into the next column here, prior 3-quarter averages, we're just kind of looking at what the average was per quarter, and then the current quarter that we're in, was there an improvement, or how much of an improvement was there over the prior 3 quarters averages? So in Marathon's case here, we're looking at the prior 3 quarters, which was 92.2 million, dividing by 3, and then we're looking at the current quarter and subtracting that number from that, getting the number here. So that would be an improvement of 55 million on average would be the improvement there for Marathon. Cypher would be up 22.7, Riot would be up 22.1, Iris is up 20.7, TerraWolf up 15.2. Obviously, TerraWolf, Cypher and TerraWolf especially, they haven't mined much in the, well, not much late, at least at late 2022 or middle to late 2022. They were just starting out here. That's why they're having a huge pump as far as increase in revenues compared to those prior quarters. We could also see the same thing possibly for, there's another one there. Let's see, we have TerraWolf, Iris. Well, Iris you could kind of put into that boat as well. Iris returned a bunch of miners during, was it Q3 or Q4? I can't remember now. Based on default on those, so their revenue came down. So that's why having a huge improvement there. CleanSpark would be up 14 million. Bitfarms would be up 4.5. Sphere would be up 3.9. Hive would be up 1.8. DigiHost 1.4. Mawson 1.3. DMG 991,000. Argo 286,000. And BitDigital is down negative 251,000. And Hut 8 was down 3.8 million on that one. Okay. So then looking into the future part of things, we're looking at the current quarter, and we're just going to multiply by 4. So if the miners actually stayed, or were able to keep the revenue right around that same spot going forward, as long as Bitcoin doesn't crash on us to like 5,000 or something like that, this should be right around that range a little bit here, within 10 to 15%, I'm guessing, depending where Bitcoin goes. Right. Also, the network hash rate is going to be increasing, but we're just saying that, let's just say everything stays the same for the sake of argument. So if we're looking at that, Marathon would have 343 million in revenue going forward, right, into the next 4 quarters. Cypher would have 127 million. Riot would have 223 million. Let's see here. Iris would have 138 million. TerraWolf would have 90 million. CleanSpark would have 184 million. Then we got Bitfarms 137 million. Sphere at 21 million. Hive at 90 million. DigiHost at 23. Mawson at 20 million. DMG at 23 million. Argo at 51 million. BitDigital would be at 32 million, and Hut 8 would be at 43 million. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as future potential revenue, if things stay the same. And then we're looking at the forward PE based on growth. So I took a look at all these miners, see what their future growth is going to be like in the next 6 months to basically, 6 to 9 months or so, depending on how fast you can get miners installed. But we're looking at, obviously, Marathon got a 20 PE because they still have a lot of growth left in them going forward. Cypher, I give them a 10 because they're pretty much close to being where they're supposed to be. They're within a couple hundred petahash to maybe a exahash, I think. Riot still has about 2 exahash left of growth in them. Iris is pretty much where they're supposed to be, pretty close. TerraWolf, I think, is already tapped out or pretty close to where they're supposed to be, I think within 1 exahash as well. CleanSpark still has a lot of growth left in them to get to the 16 exahash. Bitfarms has about, I think it's another 1.52 exahash of growth left in them, so they still have a little bit of growth on them. Sphere is pretty close to being tapped out. They have only about maybe 700 petahash worth of growth left. Then you got Hive. Hive is supposed to, they're saying that their target is 6 exahash by the end of the year. They're at 3 right now, something. So they still have quite a bit of growth left in them as well. DigiHost is pretty close to where they're supposed to be. Same thing with Mawson, DMG, Argo. BitDigital still has a little bit of growth left in them. Hut 8, I give them a 15 because if they do merge with USBTC, that would be definitely a boom for them. So that's kind of how those are being graded. And then the future revenue divided by shares times future PE. And that's the stock price that we're getting here for those guys where I think maybe potentially down the road where they might be at. That's obviously with Bitcoin staying the same, network hash rate staying the same, everything like that. So Marathon would be right around $41. Cypher around $5.11. Riot would be up $19 to $19.12. Iris would be up $25.12. TerraWolf would be up $4.25, or the stock price would be at $4.25. CleanSpark would be at $32.79. Bitfarms at $8.55. Sphere would be at $1.37. Hive would be at $16.12. DigiHost at $4.11. Mawson at $6.19. DMG at 71 cents. Argo at $5.34. BitDigital at $3.95. Hut 8 at $2.98. Okay. And that's not also taking into account any share dilution. We know that some companies are going to dilute a little bit here, possibly Marathon, Riot, Hut 8 as well. I believe Hive is going to possibly dilute as well to grow a little bit more. So is Bitfarms, CleanSpark. So there's going to be some dilution into it. This is not taking that into account because it's just hard to tell where those are going to end up at. But if you want to just add, subtract 20% from that to some of these guys here, that's kind of where you would probably fall in line with, I would think. Okay, so then as far as what is that multiple from where they are right now? So here's our X multiple right now. Let's do that descending, and let's take a look at the chart here. So based on that, if everything was equal, right, where the miners were all getting equal attention from the investors, CleanSpark would obviously come, well, on the chart, comes in at number one here at 8.47x from where they are right now, as far as growth and the stock price. Iris Energy would be 7.62x, Bitfarms at 7.44, Hive would be at 5.2x, Argo would be at 4.95, Sphere would be at 4.72, and Sphere is questionable. They're still growing, but the revenues are increasing nicely, so that's helping them out. They've had a rough year in the past, so hopefully this year is going to be a little better for them. Marathon would be 4.39x increase, DMG 3.74, TerraWolf 3.22, DigiHost 2.93, Mawson at 2.51, and Cypher at 2.05. Riot at 1.92. Riot is very well valued right now. That's possibly why this isn't increasing that much for them. And then Hut 8 is going to be 1.44, BitDigital 1.27. Okay. So let me know what you guys think of all these numbers, whether you agree or disagree with these projections, where they possibly could be in the next 12 months. This is kind of the way things worked out. And, you know, you could always run these numbers, change these numbers based on where you think they're going to be. I went by the fact that a lot of these miners here, if we're looking at the current hash rate, future hash rate, we can see here, we'll just go through this really quick so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Hut 8 currently has about 2.6 exahash. They're supposed to get to 3.2 right now. What is it, about 700 petahash worth of growth left? Not a lot of growth left. Obviously, if they merge with USBTC, that's going to help them out. Riot still has about 2 exahash worth of growth left in them. Cypher has about 2.2 exahash worth of growth left in them. Hive, currently what's reported, they have about 1.1 exahash, but they're saying it's supposed to get to 6 exahash. So they still have some growth. Marathon still has obviously about 9 exahash worth of growth left in them. DigiHost has only a couple hundred petahash here, 200 petahash roughly. Iris is pretty much fully installed right now. We'll see if they grow any further beyond that. Argo, same thing. BitDigital is, well, about 1,000 exahash away, a little less than that, so they still have some growth in them. DMG, only, what is that, 300 petahash worth of growth left. Bitfarms has about 2.5 exahash roughly. CleanSpark has, what is that, still 9 exahash left of growth, possibly. Depending on if they remove any of the older miners, that would drop them down to around the 16 that they're saying. So that's still 10 exahash worth of growth. That's still a lot. Mawson is only about 700 petahash. TerraWolf, 1.3 exahash. Sphere, 800 petahash. Core has, well, Cores we didn't cover because they're in bankruptcy right now, but that's why we didn't cover them. Okay, so that's kind of the way I looked at it. The ones that are growing quite nicely still have a lot of growth left, got a higher PE than the ones that are lower based, and it's kind of the way I kind of weighed them a little bit. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of all this. And as always, the spreadsheets are going to be available to my Patreon members. And I promise I'll get you guys, the YouTube members, I'll get these out to you guys tomorrow. I've been saying this for the last couple of days. It's just been hectic here at home, at least the last couple of days. So I will get those out to you guys as well, the screenshots for these dashboards. Okay, so that's it. We'll see what happens tomorrow as far as Friday's concerned with the markets, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the miners. Hopefully we'll have a better day than we did today, especially the miners at least. But we'll see. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next one.